From Blaine High School, it is time for some Northwest Suburban Volleyball here on North Metro TV. Alongside Bill Hupp, Steve Linsmeyer with you. And it is the Rogers Royals in town to take on the Blaine Bengals. And the Royals come in with a record of 23-4. They've won 16 straight. And they are the 9th ranked team in the country, or in the state, excuse me. And they, of course, are led by Anya Schmidt. And for the Blaine Bengals, they are 8-8. And here's the numbers, Bill, on Anya Schmidt. They are dominant.
Yeah, Anya Schmidt, the coach's daughter, has just one of the best players in the state. She set a state record for service aces last year with 197. And despite just being a sophomore, she's one of the real leaders and stars for this Rogers Royals team, who come in here having won 16 games in a row.
Yet they went down in the rankings, if you can believe that, after winning 16 straight. On the other side, Blaine is 8-8, and Kenzie Aber, we know where the offense is going to come from. She's going to be the one to lead it, and she is one of the leaders of this Bengals team.
Yeah, leads the team in assists, so she'll be the one as the setter that sets things up for the rest of her teammates as the starters are being introduced here. But she's a real key if the Bengals hope to come in and spring the upset over this 23-4 Rogers team.
Well, Rogers made an appearance in the state semifinals a year ago. Let's go through the starting lineups for Blaine. Jillian Hansen, Clara Brown, Autumn Shelgardis, Sydney Carlson, Elizabeth Breitbart, and Kenzie Aber. And then, of course, the libero for Blaine is Chaya Yang. Rogers is led by Anya Schmidt, who we talked about. She was a freshman on last year's state tournament team. April Jonason, excuse me. Taylor Dawson, Emma Ellingson, Hannah Bruskowitz, Joanna Scherber, and the libero tonight, Elena Halverson.
Yeah, it should be a really interesting matchup here between these two teams. They didn't meet the last couple of years, but the last time they were here, Blaine actually beat Rogers in their last appearance here. So Royals, as we said, coming in red hot. They're trying to keep up with Andover and Maple Grove, or Champlin Park rather, and Andover ahead of them in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Scandian says you take a look at Natalie Thines, the Bengals head coach, wearing that Blackout Cancer t-shirt tonight, as did all the Bengals during warm-ups.
There is Bo Schmidt, the head coach of the Royals, and of course the father of Anya Schmidt, who we're going to see, I think, serve here in just a minute. It looks like the Bengals will get the first serve of this contest. But the Bengals in dark blue and the libero Chaya Yang in Carolina blue. The Rogers Royals in white, and libero Elena Halverson is in black. Sydney Carlson will serve to get us started here in the opening set from Blaine High School. In this Northwest Suburban Volleyball matchup, it goes right to Halverson on the near side. This is a free ball over the net and misplayed by Brown, and it lands in 1-0 Royals.
Yeah, Blaine cannot afford to make too many mistakes, unforced errors, if you will, as this gives the serve to Schmidt. We know how tough she is when she's serving.
Yeah, already closing in on 100 aces in her sophomore season, and look out for that one, but Yang able to dig it up. Here it comes to the near pin and knocked across by Brown. Quick set up at the middle, and that is blocked. Ella Breitbart turned that one away, and we're tied at 1.
I love the unbridled joy that they celebrate points with in volleyball. Big block by Breitbart right at the net. Rogers obviously confident as Breitbart gets a well-deserved substitution.
Chaya Yang will serve for the Bengals, and Halverson passes it to Schmidt across the left and right down the line, a kill for Scherber. And the Royals jump back in front by a score of 2-1 here in the opening set.
Blaine's gonna have to weather the storm here against this Rogers team, because they are really they're gonna be faced with some adversity, as they saw right there. They're gonna have to fight through those adverse moments.
That is Emma Ellingson with an ace, and the Royals add to their lead now 3-1. Here's another serve by Ellingson. That pass did not hit its target. Now Brown from beyond the 10-foot line hits it across. Here's Schmidt, right side, falling away, and still getting it to drop is Scherber. And the Royals take a 4-1 lead. That wasn't exactly how you drew it up, but still worked there for Scherber.
Yeah, not the cleanest kill she'll ever record, but effective nonetheless.
Yang's pass goes to Aber, up middle, and knocked down by Hansen.
Well, the Hansen sisters are two of the best players on this Blaine team, and there's a reason Jill, who just recorded right there her 100th kill of the season, came in to lead with the team leading 99 to go along with 26 solo blocks.
Angela Guzzi with the serve. This is a great pass to Schmidt, set up middle and off the block. It's played back by Aber, and bump set to the near side comes to Brown. She rolls one to the corner, and it is just out.
It's a game of inches in volleyball, Steve, isn't it?
It is, and that one did not miss by much. I think you could have probably called that one either way, and nobody would have had a problem with it. Here's Bruskowitz to serve. It's a really good pass. Aber sets the slide, and Hansen gets another. Second kill this set for Jill Hansen. 101st of the season, and it's 5-3 now. The Royals leading by 2.
We'll also see her sister Gemma as well, making an impact here, but Jill, just a well-placed kill, and she's got 2. It's showing her repertoire early on.
Here's Clara Brown. The passing from Rogers has been awfully good, and right side, it's Scherber again. That's going to be number 3 for Scherber already in the set.
Yeah, Scherber has been really solid early on, gets a well-deserved high five from her coach. Just they're attacking that right side, that right pin.
Yeah, her opportunities have not necessarily been clean, but she's made the most of them. Left side for Sydney Carlson. That's going to be dug out by Helverson. Schmidt tosses it left side, and banging it off the block is Taylor Dawson. And a point for the Royals. It's 7-3.
Taylor Dawson coming in, also one of the leading stat getters. 144th kill of the season. Also got 96 digs. So Dawson, they have 4 players over 100 kills.
Ariana Polkamp with the serve, and this will be set back to Rogers, and misplayed in the back row by Bruskowitz. And a point for Blaine. 7-4 now.
Serving for Blaine, number 4.
A lot of rotation, obviously, in and out in volleyball, so everyone getting a chance on the rotation.
Jill Hansen will serve. This goes beyond the 10-foot line for Bruskowitz. Left side pin tipped back towards the corner by Carlson. Bruskowitz was there. Quick set to the right, and knocking that one down was Dawson. As she banged that one off the block of Breitbart, and it's 8-4, double up on the scoreboard for Rogers.
Went right to our broadcast position, second block of the night for Bruskowitz, or for Breitbart rather.
That serve goes across and bumped up now as the Blaine offense couldn't get in system. And this will be set to Schmidt, right down into the corner. And a kill for Anya Schmidt, her first of the match.
Just a sophomore, but so much power, Steve, as she just hammered that in between the 2 Blaine defenders. Textbook form right there.
Taylor Dawson will serve. That pass takes Aber way off her spot, but from beyond the 10-foot line, it's hit across, and Carlson finds the left corner.
Blaine hanging around. They just can't get this lead, let this lead get to double digits. Another key, Steve, will be how are the coaches using their timeouts, and do they know when to use them in terms of how to stop the momentum of the other team?
Kenzie Aber will serve. Right side for Schmidt, and that's going to be dug out in the back row by Brown. This one flipped towards the corner and dropping it in. And a point for Blaine.
Really well played. Nicely done. We highlighted Aber in the open, and she certainly made the most of it there, just getting inside the end line.
Serve comes to the near sideline for Dawson, and they'll go back to Schmidt. Look out as Anya Schmidt rips that one down the right sideline, and it's 10-6 Rogers.
I mean, Kaya Yang is going to be a little sore tonight, as she has just taken a couple big shots as that serve goes into the net.
Alana Halverson with a service error. And that's going to give the serve back to Blaine. They're down 3 here in the opening set. And Sydney Carlson will serve for the Bengals. That one goes towards Schmidt. And they're going to set the middle, and Bruskowitz knocks that one off of a Blaine defender. And it's 11-7, 4-point advantage for Rogers.
It's not all about power on those spikes, Steve, but it certainly helps, as that just ate Aber up.
Here comes Anya Schmidt, and that state record of kills, but she puts that, or of aces, excuse me, but that one goes into the net. And a service error. Chaya Yang will serve. Yang's float serve goes towards Halverson. Schmidt in the back row now will set, and that rattles the antenna from Dawson, and that'll be out. And a point for Blaine.
This is what Blaine needs to do. Just keep it within 2 to 5 points, make a late run, and see if you can't steal a set.
Yang to serve again. Her team down 2. That one nearly clips the tape. And going to be hit back over towards the Bengals. And nobody comes to get the second touch. And that one lands at the 10-foot line at a point for Rogers. And those are the type of miscommunications, Bill, you've talked about that just can't happen for Blaine against this tough Rogers squad. That serve from Ellingson. And beyond the 10-foot line, it's hit across by Shelley Gardis, and that one drops on the pass up front. Nobody was there, and a point for Blaine.
Well, we can see, Steve, that communication errors can happen on both sides, but certainly if you're Blaine, you're trying to beat a top 10 ranked team in state and end their 16-game winning streak, you have to be in lockstep and play relatively mistake-free volleyball.
Serve goes towards Ellingson. Now from outside the 10-foot line, it's set across by Halverson. Left side for Brown, down the line, and it hits the line right at the knees of Emma Ellingson. And a point for the Bengals. They're down just 1 now in set 1.
She tried to let it go. She gambled, and it didn't pay off. As again, well placed from Dawson.
Set over to the left side. That one is going to hit the net above the playing field and hit it and come straight back down. So a point for Rogers and a tough break for Blaine.
Yeah, it was a tough break because Yang did a fantastic job of digging it out initially and keeping it alive, but just a little too hard.
Serve coming from Bruskowitz. A good serve. Good pass, though, by Guzzi. Now right side and off the block. It's a kill for Hansen.
Blaine content to work both sides. We haven't really noticed them attacking one side in particular. They've been equal opportunity depending on where things are going.
So just a 1-point lead for Rogers now here in the opening set. And Clara Brown's serve is shot up into the stands. It hits one of the basketball rims and comes straight back down. It'll be an ace for the Bengals. And they are tied now in set 1.
There's a lot of things that the volleyball can hit here. The rafters, the curtain, the basketball hoops, but makes for an interesting challenge once that ball goes in the air.
Halverson fields this serve. Schmidt's going to toss it left, and that one shoots across and out from Taylor Dawson. And a point for Blaine. They've got the lead.
Blaine's rattled off, I believe, 6 straight to come from behind, and now can they keep that going with service?
Clara Brown still at the service line, and the Royals defense has had some trouble with the serve receive, and now an overpass to the Bengals. They can get in system for the first time in a while, but that is going to be a double contact called against Blaine. You know, we talk about that 6-0 run. Realistically, offensively, they haven't really had to do much. It's been their ability to serve from Brown that got that rally going. And that is quick dumped over by Royals at a point for Rogers. That was Anya Schmidt.
Just another smart play. I mean, she could sense that everyone was loading up for that big middle, big block attempt, and she just kind of tipped it over instead. So well played by Schmidt, who's clearly got a pretty high volleyball IQ as a coach's daughter.
And they're going to set Brown from beyond the 10-foot line, and she finds the left sideline, and we are again level, this time at 15.
Well, Dawson and Brown are certainly coming to play today, and you know the Hansons will be involved as well.
Serve from Jill Hansen, good pass up front. Left side set goes to Schmidt, and that was touched. Oh my, that was, that's gonna be a point for Blaine, but.
Certainly looked like it hit the middle blockers, but.
Right side set, and that is out. Rogers looking for a touch on this one. They're not gonna get that either. I didn't see this one, but.
Well, and he said, I wonder if he's saying he was blocked.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but Blaine with a 2-point lead.
Rogers didn't argue on that one by Schmidt. That's tapped right back at Rogers by Breitbart. And it's a 3-point lead for the Bengals and a timeout for Bo Schmidt and the Royals.
Oh, Blaine just could not be happier. Breitbart giggling about how well things are going so far, but they are so excited. And so Natalie Tynes trying to channel that, keep her crew focused as they try to pick up the set one upset.
Well, you can tell that Blaine is playing like they don't have a whole lot to lose tonight. You can tell that they're just out here having fun, taking it as it comes and seeing what happens. And I like the attitude so far from Blaine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And meanwhile, you know, Bo Schmidt is probably telling his kids, hey, look, settle down, we're still in this one. And, you know, it's a game of runs. You get service back, you rattle off some aces, some wins at the service spot, and all of a sudden it's a different game.
So a 3-point lead for the Bengals here in set one. And Jill Hansen will do the serving. And here's the first serve from Hansen. That goes towards Schmidt. And it's tipped back over to the Bengals. Looking for that second touch. And tipped to the side, and hitting the sideline is Carlson. And the Blaine Bengals go up 4.
Yeah, again, just, you know, right place, right time, tipped it over, and earned the point.
Here's Hansen's serve. That is mishandled, but played back in. Now tipped over the net, and going to drop in a point for the Royals. Good play there from Taylor Dawson.
Steve, you've seen a lot of volleyball. How much do you think momentum plays into teams going on runs and whatnot?
I think it plays a huge part, and we've seen timeouts work a lot. I mean, you see well-placed timeouts really kill momentum in volleyball. Here's the right side. That's going to be tipped down to the back line by Breitbart, and the lead for the Bengals is back to 4.
And that's what the point I was trying to make earlier in the game is that how will each coach use their timeouts, because that can really stem a run of the opposition and make sure it doesn't get away from your team.
Kenzie Aber will serve, and that's going to be set up now to the right side for Schmidt, and that's blocked off the antenna, and a point for the Royals.
Boy, Schmidt is the real deal in person. She is.
I saw her a couple times last year at the state tournament as Rogers, I believe, finished 4th at the state tournament last year.
They did.
She was just as good as a freshman. Here's a left side attack. That one through the block for Shelagardis, and another point for the Bengals. And they've got a 4-point lead here late in set one.
Yeah, Steve, Rogers finishing 4th last year, lost in the 3rd place game, but were defeated in the semifinals 3-0 by powerhouse Wyzetta, who eventually won it all.
So we set up to the right side for Schmidt, and that one hits the baseline.
Perfectly placed. It looked out from here, but obviously
well, I didn't think she was going to be able to.
Closest to it.
I didn't think she was going to be able to get up and get that one quick enough. That was explosive.
So they have the right person serving if they're trying to get back in this one.
So here is Anya Schmidt, the all-time leader in service aces in the state of Minnesota, and that is going to miss the left sideline, and a point for the Royals.
This is danger time for the Bengals. You can see why Schmidt, you know, the athleticism and the speed that she gets on this jump serve.
Here's Schmidt's serve, and that will be ace number 98 of the season for Anya Schmidt.
Yeah, she is. She's as advertised with that, and she can put different kinds of spin on it, and it's just really tough. So a timeout now for the Bengals to try to regroup and make sure that this doesn't get away from them.
Yeah, probably a good timeout here. Bill, you talk about momentum in timeouts, and we see it a lot in volleyball with the chance to, you know, stop runs using timeouts. Well, I'm going to tell a story because I used to cover a college basketball coach who, whenever his team would have a big momentum basket at home, he'd call a timeout. Used to drive me absolutely nuts. He had these awesome, the crowd would be into it. Finally, the place to be roaring, and boom, timeout.
Did you ever ask him why?
Oh, I used to ask him why all the time. And his dad would always listen to me, and I would criticize him on the air, and he'd always joke about it later that I always criticized his timeouts. But I'm a big believer in momentum.
Yeah, that's a weird. Even if you're not, there's no reason to call a timeout if your team's rolling.
Yeah, it used to drive me absolutely nuts. Here is Anya Schmidt with the Bengals leading by 1 and a service error for the Royals. And that puts Blaine back up 22-20.
It's about the only mistake Schmidt has made tonight, Steve, is she has hit it into the net on that jump serve a couple times.
Here is Chaya Yang for Blaine. And that's going to be an ace for the Bengals. Now a 3-point lead here as we get to the latter stages of set 1, and a timeout for Bo Schmidt. And the Royals are going to talk things over again.
And this time Bo Schmidt does not look pleased, as clearly his team is not executing. And you could see he's animated. That shiny dome getting red as he is fired up and not pleased with how his Royals are coming out. And you know, with high school kids, Steve, it's really hard for them to come out and be focused every game. You never know what's going on with them. Yeah. And so it's particularly impressive that Schmidt has led, Schmidt and his team have gone on this 16-game run, because there's so much going on, and high school kids can be so up and down. So for them to rattle off 16 straight wins speaks to the level of focus. But obviously he is a little cross right now with how his team has come out, and maybe they will maybe it'll take them dropping a set to wake them up.
So it is 23-20. Blaine with a 3-point lead. Yang will serve again. This is going to be passed up towards Schmidt. Set up for Bruskowitz. And she hammers that one into the left corner. And the Royals back within 2.
Oof. That was a hammer blow from Bruskowitz.
That quick middle set, I love that. Oh, there's a ball on the floor. But that's going to be an ace for the Royals. One of the ball girls lost the ball rolling into the floor, but Anya Schmidt able to kick it away.
I was going to say, does that stop play? I've never seen that happen in a volleyball match before.
It probably should have. Here's Ellingson again, and that is out. And it's going to be set point for the Bengals.
Kind of amazed it doesn't happen more.
Yeah.
They'll bring in someone new to serve in the form of Anna Gussie.
So Anna Gussie will serve. This goes towards Halverson. Schmidt will set it up middle again, and Bruskowitz tips it this time. And now the Bengals can get in system, but it's hit across back to the Royals. Quick set to Bruskowitz, and she taps this one inside the 10-foot line.
This one's going to go down to the wire, Steve. I think it's already at the wire.
Will 25 points be enough here in set 1? Hannah Bruskowitz will serve again for the Royals. We have a substitution. Sydney Carlson coming in to play the back row for Blaine. They're going to go right at her, and that's a pretty good pass. Right side set for Hansen, and that's going to be tipped across to the Royals. Now an opportunity at the top of the net from Scherber. Left side Carlson, and that's going to drop in. And Blaine takes the opening set 25-23.
Bengals needed this one, Steve. This is a Blaine team that started out the season 5-1, but they're 8-8 now.
Well, it is the Bengals taking the first set against the 9th-ranked Royals here on North Metro TV.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
The Blaine Bengals take the opening set. The Blaine Bengals take the opening set, and they did it in all sorts of different ways, both at the service line and at the net.
Yeah, Blaine absolutely did a fantastic job in that first set, Steve, because they were blocking things at the net. Breitbart played super well. The Hansen sisters were outstanding as well. And Blaine, as you said, all sorts of ways. And they kind of came back in that middle part. It was 13-8, right? And they came back, rattled off those 6 in a row, and then they never looked back.
It is 25-23. Blaine takes the opening set. And it will be the Royals serving here to open up set number 2, but the first set goes to Blaine, 25-23. And Bill, like you said, they did it in all sorts of different ways here in the latter stages of the set. They went on a run, a 6-0 run to take the lead, and that sort of kind of shifted the momentum, but also shifted the confidence a little bit to Blaine.
No, yeah, no question, and that's what momentum does, right? It forced Bo Schmidt to take a couple timeouts. One, he was pretty animated with his girls because he knows that they're not playing up to their capability. Even his daughter, Anya Schmidt, who is an ace in the service, hit a couple into the net, and her serve starts things off in the second set.
And we are underway here in set number 2, and up at the net, it is Ellingson tapping that one out the back door, and a point for the Rogers Royals, and it's 1-0 here in set 2.
Again, get Anya Schmidt out there if you're Rogers and get out to an early lead. That's how you right the ship.
Schmidt with another good serve, but Yang able to dig that one out, and this is flipped across by Vetter. Quick set at the net, and a net violation going to be called on the Bengals, and it's 2-0 Royals.
This is exactly what Bo Schmidt wanted. He wanted a run, and he wanted Rogers to make this a laugher early in the second set. Not there yet, obviously, and Blaine will come back and make a run out of it, but this is how they needed to respond.
And set up beyond the 10-foot line for Sydney Carlson, and she pounds that one between the defenders in the back row. And a point for the Bengals here in set 2.
They're having so much success on that far post, on that right post, Steve. And that kind of sweep serve, I think you called it, or sweep set.
The slide.
The slide, that's what it is.
This will be set to the left and right down the line for Joanna Scherber, who we heard from early in set 1, but then did not hear much from her the rest of the way. And puts the Royals up 3-1 here in the second.
Yeah, Scherber had a really good start early, and then Bruskowitz was good late for them.
There's an ace for Ellingson. And Rogers with a 4-1 lead. You talked about this is what they needed to take an early lead here for the Royals.
But again, Blaine coming in, 500 up and down season, so huge for their confidence to take that first set.
Left side for Brown, that hits the tape, and it's going to be 4 hits, I believe. Yes, that is the call against the Bengals. That one hit the tape, came back, and it's 5-1. Serve to Emma Ellingson yet again, and that's a sidewinding serve to the far side, and this gets passed out of bounds, and it'll be another ace for Ellingson. It's now 6-1.
Yeah, that had some real side spin. We could see it from our position in the stands, and tough to deal with if you're Blaine.
So 6 of the first 7 here in set 2 have gone to the Royals. And that serve goes towards Yang. Outside the boundary, Aber will set it back to the Royals. Right side, that one off the block and down for Scherber. And the Royals racking them up here in set 2.
Steve, this is what Rogers wants. They want Anya Schmidt in the middle, directing traffic, serving right, serving left. And right there, very effective to Bruskowitz.
Here's Ellingson, and that time she hits the net. So that will stop the bleeding for Blaine momentarily.
It seems like Rogers, when they're turning service back over, it's mostly because they're heading into the net.
Yeah. Here's Yang. That goes to the top of the net, where it's going to be tipped towards the back corner by Jill Hansen. And another point for Blaine. That was just another headsy play at the net by Hansen, and it's 7-3. Yang's serve is an ace.
beautiful little dip over the net, and all the libero could do to dive after it.
Yeah, Halverson lunging for that, but all sorts of topspin had that one heading to the floor. And the lead is cut to 3. Ellingson plays this. Schmidt will set it up left, and pushing that one through the block is Dawson. And that will snap the run for the Bengals and a point for Rogers.
They just have so many weapons, right? We said 4 kids who have over 100 kills apiece, or over 90 kills apiece, I believe. It's very dangerous. It's hard to single out who to stop.
And that one hit over by Vetter, almost falls, but a great defensive play by the Royals to get it back. Now the Bengals in system. Hansen has this one blocked back at her, but a great cover by Yang, and Brown flips it into the net. A point for Rogers. Hannah Bruskowitz will serve it up. Her team up by 5, and that is long, and a service error.
It's the unforced errors, right? We talked about it. The service is into the net, the service is long. The unforced errors that probably have Bo Schmidt most frustrated. And he'd lose his hair if he had any left to lose.
Angela Guzzi will serve. That was a good one, but Halverson able to dig it out. This one comes back over to the Bengals, and some self-defense to flip it over, and it's a point for Rogers. So that one passed over and out. And a 5-point lead for Rogers here in set 2, where the Bengals took the opener 25-23 against the 9th-ranked Royals.
Well, we can see, Steve, why they're slipping from 8 to 9, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, they've won, what, 16 straight?
That's right.
That'll send you down the rankings.
How good is this conference, though? You've got Maple Grove, you've got this team, you've got Champlain Park, you've got Andover. Oh.
Step the slide to the right, and Hansen splits the defenders in the back row for another kill here in set 2.
Hansen has been so big for Blaine tonight, as well as Clara Brown. The captains, 2 of the 2 co-captains for Blaine.
Gemma Hansen will rotate to serve. And that one goes into the net. So Hansen with a service error, and the ball back to the Royals, 11-6.
I bet you got a mean jump serve, Steve.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've always said I'm glad that volleyball wasn't necessarily I mean, it's just becoming kind of more of a male sport. I've always said I'm glad it wasn't, because I would have been terrible. I'll stick to my basketball, baseball. I was really bad at football, but I tried. Here's a serve from Dawson. And that is tried to set over the net, but Aber flips it into the top of the tape, and another point for the Royals. So Dawson will serve for a second time. This goes down the line, and that's going to be an ace. Another one for Rogers.
Yeah, Blaine just not as sharp here in this second set, and sometimes, you know, you kind of expect if it's an even matchup, you kind of expect a response from the opponent in the second set, and Rogers is delivering that response.
Another serve from Dawson. Aber will set the left, a little bit behind her target of Carlson. Outside the 10-foot line for Bruskowitz, and that one sails long. You don't see a lot of teams set outside the 10-foot line, but a team like Rogers, we've seen it a couple times from Blaine tonight, but a team like Rogers with so many weapons, you've got options by going to that back row. Here's Schmidt from the right pin, and that one slips past Guzzi for another Royals point. They lead 14-7.
I mean, I haven't kept stats on it, but it seems like that right pin attacking that right pin has been really effective here tonight.
Halverson's serve is almost mishandled now from outside the 10-foot line. It'll be hit back over by Dawson. And they're going to set Brown from outside the 10-foot line. Bruskowitz bats it back. And this will be passed over, just slides over the net. Right side for Schmidt, and she misfires wide.
Yeah, Schmidt again going for that far right corner. But yeah, really a back and forth, and now's the time for Blaine to make its move if it's going to stay competitive in this one.
Aber will serve this one towards Halverson, tight to the net, and knocked back by Sydney Carlson.
And of course, what I mean by this one is this second set. You know, they would love to take the first 2 and really put the pressure on the Royals.
So here
in the third.
Aber again, the junior for Blaine. This is bumped up right side. Here's Schmidt to the back corner. And that one had all sorts of mustard behind it. And it shoots out of play, a point for the Royals. It's amazing how, I mean, she explodes so quickly and it's so powerful.
Yeah, and she's not the most sort of physically imposing volleyball player you've ever seen, but she just gets so much from her athleticism. And she understands how to time her leaps.
And Schmidt sets Bruskowitz, and that one is buried in the right corner.
It's danger time for Blaine right here, Steve. I mean, they're down by 7. Rogers needs just 9 points to take the set.
Here's Schmidt trying to go far corner, and she misses wide, so another service error for the Royals. And of the 10 Bengals points in the second set, I would say at least 4 of them have been service errors.
Yep.
There's Brown's serve. Schmidt's going to set Bruskowitz again, and that one is buried in front of Carlson. And a 17-10 lead now for the Royals.
That is such a killer combination. I mean, Hannah Bruskowitz came in with 164 kills. I imagine she's up to about 170 now, and 56 total blocks on the season. So one of those players that has racked them up for Rogers this year.
Aber will try to set it near pin, but it's going to be bumped over. Now Schmidt's going to quick set for Bruskowitz. And it's dug out by Carlson. Right side, tapped across, and then knocked back. This one shoveled towards the Royals. Again for Bruskowitz, and she taps it through the block, and another point for the Royals.
Schmidt in the middle of things again after that dig in the back line. Schmidt setting it up for Bruskowitz to just tap across as you see that little push pass.
Here's Ellingson on the serve. That one goes to Carlson. Aber set it up middle, and this is going to be bumped over as Brown was trying to get there. Right side for Scherber, and that one's deflected into the Blaine bench. So a 9-point lead now, Bill, and it is getting danger time here in set 2 as the Bengals find themselves down almost double digits.
Oh, it was danger time about 4 points ago, but yeah, it is a struggle for Blaine here in the second set, and although they do pick up a point right there.
There is Clara Brown going right through the block of Bruskowitz.
And it seems, I don't think it's that necessarily that Blaine's playing worse, it's just that Rogers has found its form in terms of setting, going through their main people with Schmidt to Bruskowitz and others.
Schmidt's going to set it to Bruskowitz, and it's turned away by Jillian Hansen and Autumn Shelagardis.
Just as I say that, big block at the net for Blaine, and they're hanging around.
Here's Yang again. That one just over the tape. Schmidt will set the left, and that one is driven to the ground by Taylor Dawson.
Again, you cannot focus on just stopping Bruskowitz or just stopping Schmidt, because then Schmidt will set it across, and Dawson will hammer it down.
That serve is out. Long off the serve from Bruskowitz. Royals up by 7. The serve goes back to Blaine.
There's a real art to controlling your nerve on the serve and making sure that you don't overhit it even when you're hyped and all the adrenaline is flowing through you.
Guzzi will serve, and Schmidt has to bump set this one, and it's hit back to the Bengals. Aber will set the slide for Hansen, and right down the right sideline, and another one for Jill Hansen.
I don't know if I'm at a wedding, Steve, but that slide has been electric tonight for Blaine.
Absolutely. They have gone to that to Hansen a few times now, and she buries this one along the sideline, and this is going to be tapped off the block, and another kill for Rogers. This one for April Jonason.
Interesting, Steve, no timeouts here in this second set. The coaches have just let the kids play.
A touchdown lead for Rogers here in set 2, trying to even it up. And that serve goes into the net from Polkamp.
Well, Blaine's still with life, but obviously living ever closer with 25 being the number to reach.
Here's Brown with a serve to Halverson. This is bumped back in by Dawn, now sent over to Blaine. They're going to set Brown beyond the 10-foot line, and she hits that one into the left corner, and it's down. And Blaine within 5.
Brown has played really well tonight. A couple blocks at the net, a couple times on that slide. She's connected, and right there from the back row practically, she manages to sneak it in the far left corner.
Brown will serve this one towards Halverson. They'll set Bruskowitz beyond the 10-foot line, and she shoots that one long. And now Blaine within 4 at 21-17.
Steve, it seems like those serves are harder because you can't just hammer it straight down. You've got to get it over the net, but somehow keep it in bounds.
Here's Brown on a jump serve towards Halverson. Dawn will set the right, and able to keep it inside the antenna was Dawson. They're going to go back to Brown outside the 10-foot line. That hits the tape, comes back. It'll be 4 hits against Blaine. So now a 5-point lead for the Royals. Blaine took the opener, 25-23. And they'll return the favor, and yet another service error for the Royals. That's at least the 6th.
Feels like it's been, 4 in the first set, at least 3 or 4 here in the second set.
Serve coming from Jillian Hansen for Blaine. Down the line, and an ace for the Bengals. Not going quietly into the night here in set 2. And a timeout for Bo Schmidt and the Bengals, or on the Royals, excuse me.
Nice little run by the Bengals, as just as I say, we don't have any timeouts. Coach Schmidt takes a timeout. He really knows that this set is important for his Royals. Tie this match and at 1 set apiece and take back some of the momentum. But Blaine has rattled off, 4 in a row, 5 in a row? And
yeah, it was 19-10. It's now 22-19, so that is, what, a 9-3 run?
Yeah, very impressive from Blaine. Somewhat unforced errors from Rogers, but the Bengals have also just gone and grabbed it with some good service of their own.
So the Bengals trying to creep their way back into it here, down 3, but teetering on the brink. Every point crucial now, but as they say in volleyball, there's no play to get it all back in one. Got to chip away 1 point at a time, and Jillian Hansen will serve. Serve from Hansen is a good one. Bruskowitz plays it. Now Schmidt's going to tap it over, and that was out. It was touched, though, however, by Blaine, and it's a lead of now 4 for Rogers.
Again, such a smart player, Anya Schmidt, knowing when to use the finesse and just touch it over as opposed to going with the power.
Jump serve from Halverson. That is going to be an ace.
Oh, cell phone's down.
Into the second row bleachers. Some of the Blaine JV players weren't quite paying attention. And now it's set point for Rogers. Here's Halverson's serve. That one tossed towards Aber. Out to Carlson beyond the 10-foot line. That one is bumped back, and now going to try to keep it inside the antenna, and they do. Aber will set left side for Carlson, and it's deflected to Halverson. Quick set to the middle, and ending set 2 was Bruskowitz, and Rogers takes the second set 25-19.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
No surprise, the Royals storm back to take set 2 to tie this up at 1 set apiece. Blaine won the opener 25-23, but it was 25-19 Rogers in set number 2. But both teams with some big momentum swings in that second set, and it feels like, Bill, a match that could potentially be headed beyond even 4 tonight with the way these two teams are going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, nice job by Blaine. Credit to them for coming back from a 19-10 deficit and cutting it to 22-19. But I think the key in that set, Steve, was Rogers getting out to a fast start. They got out to that 19-10 lead as Bo Schmidt talks to one of his assistants. They got it to like a 6-1 lead or 6-2 lead, I believe, as well. So they had serve, they took advantage, and despite some unforced errors, they managed to tie this at 1 set apiece.
So it is 1 each as we go to the third. And we know we'll at least play 4 tonight. From Blaine High School, a little Northwest Suburban Volleyball. And it will be the serve to the Blaine Bengals here to open up set 3. It's going to be interesting to see how Blaine starts here in set 3. Can't get down quickly again.
Yeah, and does Rogers come out feeling a little more calm and confident now that they've tied this back up at 1?
Sydney Carlson will serve for Blaine, and we'll get underway here in set 3. And quick set to Bruskowitz, and she sneaks that one just inside the right sideline. It's 1-0 Rogers.
And when they get to do their thing and they're going, as we have some consultation at the line between the, and it is indeed a point to Rogers as Anya Schmidt takes over service.
Yeah, the line judge and the up official had a brief conversation. And actually watching the replay that they showed us here quickly, it was a little bit closer than I thought. Left side, and Hansen tries to tip that one over, but it catches the net. It's 2-0 Rogers.
Hansen sisters, 2 of the leaders of this Blaine Bengals team. As we said, Gemma with 89 kills, Jill over 100 kills now.
Here's Anya Schmidt, and that was almost an ace. And Hansen hits it across, and diving to get it was Dawson, and she couldn't reel it in. It's a point for Blaine, and there's the first kill of the night for Gemma Hansen.
Up to 90 kills for Hansen, and it's not Slapshot, but the Hansen siblings doing some good work for Blaine.
I'm going to set over to the left side, and that one down the line, and a kill for Dawson.
Yeah, it's been Dawson left and Bruskowitz really middle or right.
Yeah, that was actually Scherber. I misspoke on that one. Sorry, Bill. But it's been Scherber early in the sets. And that is long for Ellingson. Scherber's been the one to kind of get it started.
And it's been Dawson as well.
Clara Brown will serve for Rogers. 1 point lead for the Royals here in set 3. Schmidt going to set it across. That one's going to be tipped over by Dawson. And now Hansen will set it across. Schmidt will back set it, and this is tapped back at her by Gemma Hansen. And we are level at 3 here in set 3.
Gemma Hansen, the star of the third set so far for Blaine, coming off the bench and making an immediate impact, picking up a couple of her, 2 of her kills.
Here's Clara Brown's serve, and right through the hands of Ellingson, an ace, and the Bengals have the lead in the first 7 points of set 3.
Well, even if this only goes 4 sets, I think Rogers is in for a game, and they know it, based on how the Bengals have shown up tonight.
Serve from Brown, that one clips the tape and drops another ace. Back-to-back aces for Clara Brown. Little excuse me ace there as it clips the tape and drops in. And how about 3 in a row?
Boy, call her the pilot, because she is racking up the aces for this Blaine team. And they've rattled off 5 straight to take a 6-3 lead.
3 consecutive aces for Clara Brown. And that one clips the net. Kenzie Aber leading the team in aces coming into tonight. 2-point lead for Rogers beyond the 10-foot line. They'll set it for Gemma Hansen, who I don't believe played in set 1, but has been awesome so far here in set 3. It's 7-4 Blaine.
Yeah, I saw her on the bench in set number 2, but she has been dynamite tonight. Taking advantage of the 330th set of the season for Hebert.
So Blaine leads by 3, and that is Dawson putting an exclamation point on that one. It was hammered.
When they are allowed to get it right to left to the pins, and you know, Schmidt sets them up, they are so hard to handle.
Serve coming from Ariana Polkamp for Rogers. This one to Yang. Hebert will set the left for Carlson. It's blocked back at her and hits the line. And Rogers back within 1.
First time we have seen much of April Johnson, the middle hitter, the senior. But that was really all Schmidt, but Johnson also in there for the Royals.
That one goes to Yang. They'll set the right side for Hansen, and Jill Hansen this time pounds it off the block, and Blaine leads by 2.
And Bengals starting this set much better than they did the second.
Jill Hansen to serve. Good pass up front. Dawn will set the left for Schmidt. It's blocked back at her, and this one flipped over and drops. And a point for Rogers. Anya Schmidt gonna get credit for that one. Taylor Dawson's serve goes towards Brown. They'll set Carlson on the left, and that one is saved. What a save, but is it going to stay in? No, the overpass goes out, and the Bengals lead grows to 2.
Very impressive battle just to keep it in the first place, but hard to finish a point like that.
Kenzie Hebert will serve for Blaine, and this one into the tape, and a service error. Now I know Rogers has played far more sets this year and matches than Blaine has, but just to put it in perspective, Anya Schmidt has 98 aces to lead Rogers. This one going out of play. Kenzie Hebert coming in today led Blaine with 15. So let's just put that in perspective a little bit for you.
Yeah, well, it's that powerful jump serve we've talked about that's the key.
Yang takes the serve receive. They'll go to Carlson beyond the 10-foot line. That one is played up by Halverson. Now Dawson from beyond the 10-foot line sends it off. Yang with this can touch. This comes to Brown. She flips it through the block. And Dawn will set Schmidt, and that is going to be returned by a combination of Breitbart and Brown.
Terrific effort by Breitbart and Brown. And great job of audio by our fantastic crew here at North Metro TV of picking up just what that sounded like. The double block at the net.
So Blaine's lead is 1.
Gemma Carlson returns.
10-9 here in set 3. That serve goes to Halverson. Quick set up at the left side, and another block. This time Breitbart colliding with Brown again.
Yeah, it's a block party here in this third set. And it's Brown and Breitbart who are leading the way.
So it is a 2-point lead for the Bengals. That's almost an ace. Now Schmidt will set it over towards the deep baseline. And right side for Brown. Shoots it across the court and hits the sideline.
Blaine racking up the points, a little momentum. 4 unanswered to take a 12-9 lead.
That was a great swing from Brown, cutting the court. And just beyond the 10-foot line to put Blaine up 3. Here's Schmidt from the right side. She'll set this one over, and it finds a soft spot. It's flipped away by Hebert. And a point for the Royals.
6th kill of the night for Schmidt, who goes back to serve, hoping to give her team the lead.
Her team down 2. Each team has won a set. That's a good dig by Yang. Left side for Gemma Hansen, and it's flipped away from the cover and into the middle of the Rogers defense. It's 13-10. Blaine's up 3.
How about Gemma Hansen? 3 kills in this third set. She has been playing awesome at that left pin.
Here's Yang's serve. That one towards Ellingson. Left side, off the block, played up by Bruskowitz. And that one may have been on its way out, but Aber played it anyway. Here's Brown from the right side, cuts across the court to Schmidt. That's a free ball, pounded home by Brown.
Steve, such a good play by Brown there because Schmidt vacated trying to keep the ball in, and Brown just hit it right back to where she had left.
So Blaine's lead is now 4. And here's Yang again. This one to Halverson, tight to the net. And blocked by Hansen, but will play on. This one tipped right over the block and a flat hand save from Brown. Up middle again, tip, there's Brown. To cover it up again, and an overpass from Gemma Hansen. Schmidt will set the left, and that's gonna be a kill for Ellingson as it hits the baseline.
Oh, the Bengals deserved that one. They kept it alive numerous times in terrific and unselfish ways, but ultimately Rogers won that battle of attrition.
3-point lead. Here's Ellingson's serve. They're going to set this one up middle, and there's Jill Hansen from the middle.
The Hansen sisters continuing to do damage. This time it's Jill rising powerfully above the net and finishing. Might we see a Bo Schmidt timeout soon here,
Yeah,
Steve?
we're probably getting into that point. It's going to be an overpass, and now the Bengals can get in system. Here is Gemma Hansen, and hit the tape, and that's going to be 4. So the Royals back within 3. Serve goes to Bruskowitz. Bruskowitz serve, that one mishandled, but saved by Yang, and now an overpass from Hansen. Left side set, and that's going to be Dawson splitting the defenders in the back row.
So good how number 2 for Rogers, April Johnson, dummies the kill. And then it goes far side for Dawson, and she finishes.
That one is tight to the net, tipped back over. Nice play by Gemma Hansen to keep it alive. Now Brown from beyond the 10-foot line. Schmidt sets it all the way across the floor, and it's another one for Dawson. Nothing is off limits for this Roger team, with Schmidt able to go all the way across the floor. And now Rogers within 1. Here's Bruskowitz, and that is out. A service error.
And Blaine will take that. They'll take any point they can get here to help them pick up their second set win of the night. Bengals have really led throughout, Steve, and once they kind of took that lead 6-3, they have held on to it ever since.
Minicho Yang to serve there, and up middle, that one is knocked down by Jonason.
First time we've seen Yang in there tonight.
Yeah, get a chance to serve. She'll stay in now and play the back row for Blaine.
You love seeing kids get opportunities, especially in tight matches.
We on a pole camp. It's Yang with the dig, and Aber mishandled the set. And we are even at 16.
All square, 1 set apiece, 16-16 here in the third.
Polkamp will serve again for Rogers. To Yang, good pass. Aber sets the right, gonna be tipped over, and what a find by Jill Hansen.
Again, just knowing when to use power and when to use finesse. Jill Hansen choosing the right one right there.
That was a great play from Jill Hansen, a tip to the back line, and the last defender, and how about an ace on top of it?
Hansen picks up her second ace of the night to go along with those team-high 9 kills. And the Hansen sisters have been really dynamite.
Serve from Hansen almost hits the net. Set up for Schmidt, and wow, that was pounded by Anya Schmidt.
Katie barred the door. She didn't get credit for her last assist, or last point, but 6 kills now officially, as you see just the power and the technique We've talked about it all night from Anya Schmidt.
Dawson's serve goes towards Yang. This will be bumped up beyond the 10-foot line, and Brown hits it across. Quick set the right side, and Schmidt is blocked. Breitbart and Carlson return it.
You just love to see how excited the kids get, and you heard it again from our courtside microphone, our net mic. Just a big block, those forearms rising and thwarting the efforts of Rogers.
Ellingson will hit it across. Yang. Here's Aber. Right side, she'll go to Brown. Down the line and shot on a play by Bruskowitz.
You can see it, Steve. You can see it in their body language, how much confidence they have and how the momentum is in the favor of the blue and blue.
So Blaine up by 3. Lindsay Aber to serve. Halverson will play, and they'll go to Schmidt. And Yang did all she could.
I'm expecting these balls to pop one day, Steve, from the force at which they are being spiked.
Yeah, there have been some blasts in this match so far. Royals up 2. Here's the libero Halverson. Yang. Aber sets it across. Brown tips into the back line and just long.
Boy, this has another 25-23 feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this match has a 5-set feel to it. Here's Halverson in the net. So Blaine goes back up by 2 on the service error from the Royals.
Substitution as Gemma Hansen returns. Or rather, nope, yep, that's Gemma Hansen.
Sydney Carlson will do the serving for Blaine. Set it up middle, and Schmidt misses long. They're looking for a touch. They're not going to get it. Bo Schmidt walking towards the down official, and he's going to call a timeout. So Blaine up by 3 here late in set 3. Trying to take a 2-set-to-1 lead in this match, and it's been back and forth for most of the night, but in this 3rd set, it's been a lot of Blaine.
Yep, coach/dad talking to his daughter Anya, trying to strategize how the Royals might come back in this one and win their 2nd straight set. But Blaine has responded really well, as you see assistant coach Abby Thomas talking to the Bengals. But it's been really impressive, Steve, how they've responded to the adversity of losing that 2nd set after upsetting the 1st.
Blaine has led most of the way here in set 3. But you know the Royals will not go quietly here at the end. Sydney Carlson will serve for Blaine up by 3. Carlson serve to Halverson. Don will set to Schmidt. That's deflected off the block and into the Blaine bench. Another kill for Schmidt.
Now it's back with Schmidt to serve, and anytime they need points, this is who they go to.
Now this is a spot in the rotation you definitely want to be in down 2 late in the set. With Anya Schmidt a chance to serve. Here's that devastating jump serve. And what a pass from Yang. Set up middle, that's going to be tipped across, but Rogers trying to get in system, and Scherber taps it across, and it drops in front of Yang. But my goodness, what a pass from Yang on that serve receive.
Yang has been so valuable tonight, just returning serve, keeping things alive.
Schmidt's jump serve.
Again there.
They'll go left side for Hansen, and that is long, so now it's tied at 22-22 in the 3rd. And Natalie Thines is going to call a timeout, as her team has seen their 3-point lead out of Bo Schmidt's timeout evaporate.
I think both coaches have really used their timeouts well, especially in this set. Bo Schmidt saw that, like, look, hey, this is getting to where we can't come back, so call a timeout. And right out of the timeout, his daughter gets a kill, and then proceeds to turn a couple points via serve. All of a sudden, we're tied up. But a good use of the timeout by Natalie Tynes as well, as she says, hey, we're tied now. It's a whole new set, and we need to regroup. So, again, good use of timeout here by both coaches.
Taking a look at the crowd here at Blaine High School. Pretty good crowd on hand for this Northwest Suburban matchup. The regular season's dwindling down for both of these teams as Blaine will have one more against Maple Grove. And Rogers will play Spring Lake Park. Here's Anya Schmidt, we're tied. And there's ace 99 for Anya Schmidt, and the Royals jump in front. So 4 straight now for Rogers. And Schmidt again, ace number 100. The century mark for Anya Schmidt.
Scoreboard's only given her 2 tonight, but yeah, when she needs to dial up the aces, she seems to be able to do so, as it's now set point.
So it is set point here is Schmidt again. And Yang able to get underneath this one. They'll go right side for Brown. That's going to be dug out, but the ball comes right back over to Blaine. And left side for Gemma Hansen, and it's blocked back by Bruskowitz. And Rogers comes storming back to win the 3rd set. They score the final 6 points of set number 3, and they take the 3rd, 25-22. The 9th-ranked Royals up 2 sets to 1. They'll try to end it when we come back here on North Metro TV.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
Rogers takes set 3 and a 2-1 lead as we go to the 4th here from Blaine High School. Steve Linsmeyer, Bill Hupp with you tonight, and let's take a look at this 3rd set as Blaine took the early lead, led most of the way, but a well-timed timeout from Rogers head coach Bo Schmidt turns a 22-19 deficit into a 25-22 win for Rogers, a 6-0 run to end the set.
Yeah, just a real big tough one for the Bengals in that set as Gemma Hansen came off the bench and started things off well with a couple big blocks and a couple kills to her name. Jillian Hansen played well too, and you know, Yang has been really solid jigging things out, but Bo Schmidt, as you said, with a well-placed timeout, and his daughter Anya Schmidt put the ball in her hands. She earned serve back, and then that was it. Ran off 6 straight, as you said, to take the set. But Bengals and Coach Natalie Tynes have to be pretty pleased with how they're competing tonight, as they have made Rogers work for it, as the Royals and Bo Schmidt nearing 17 in a row.
Yeah, you don't really look for moral victories all the time, but some points of the year when you're getting ready for conference or section play and you take a state tournament team from a year ago, Rogers, push them to the brink. Something to hang your hat on here at the end of the year, playing some of your best volleyball.
No question, as Abby Schmidt will continue, or Anya Schmidt rather, will continue to serve. And for Bo Schmidt and the Royals, they have to be thrilled with how they're playing. You'd love to end the regular season with a nice 25-4 record.
Here is Anya Schmidt's serve, and that one drills the baseline. Another ace for Anya Schmidt. That is at least 4 by our count. Scoreboard only has her for 2, but I believe it's number 4. Here's Schmidt again. That one goes to Yang. They'll set the right side for Carlson, and that one is long, and it's 2-0 Royals.
Yeah, she has really dialed it in with that serve, and you know Bo Schmidt would love nothing more than for his team to get out to like a 7-8-0 lead, and as they try to salt this away, but just as I say that, an unforced error into the net.
The old broadcaster jinx as that one
Yes.
hits the net, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Royals, and the serve back to Blaine. Now, I don't know if they just haven't updated the state record book as of yet, but Anya Schmidt in the Minnesota State High School League record book does not officially have the state record at 197.
It's 173, I believe, in the state record book.
That is hopefully just not updated yet, but that is right through the block and another kill for Rogers. That was Bruskowitz. But last year at the state tournament, I actually called the last game that Rogers played, and here's the rip from Bruskowitz, and we were counting as we were adding to her number, and she finished at 197. Left side, and there is Gemma Hansen, who had a great finish to the third set, opens up the fourth set to make it 3-2.
Yeah, I believe she had, what, 31 in the postseason or something, and just an unbelievable weapon back there at serve for Rogers.
Shia Yang's serve clips the tape, and now they're going to set this one up to Bruskowitz, and it's knocked down by Brown and Hansen.
Blaine with some good size at the net, 5'11", 5'10", 5'11". No 6-footers, but a lot of imposing size for those blocks.
That one goes to Halverson. Left side set, trying to tip it over, but that one clips the tape and comes back. It'll be 4 hits against Rogers, so 4 straight now from the Bengals, and they've taken the lead.
You know, and you know that with the game on the line, that Blaine was going to continue to fight, and they were not going to go down easily. So I expect this one to be another 25-23 game.
And Dawson is blocked on the left side attack. It is Brown and Hansen again.
That had been working pretty well, that left pin set, but this time tried to go middle. Jill Hansen was having none of it.
Pass up towards Schmidt, right side set for Scherber, and she buries that one in front of the back row defense. And it's 5-4. Bruskowitz will rotate to the service line for the Royals. The penultimate game of the regular season for both teams, and there is an ace for Bruskowitz.
Yeah, tough way to finish for Blaine. They host Rogers and Maple Grove here to end the regular season. And as you said, Rogers visiting another one of our teams in our coverage area, Spring Lake Park.
Set up middle, and that one is out, they're gonna say.
Blaine disagrees with that call clearly, but Rogers gets the point.
Jillian Hansen, you could see the look of shock on her face. Serve from Bruskowitz. Guzzi with a good pass. Set up middle for Hansen. She tips it over the block. Schmidt's there to cover. And this one at the net and knocked down by Gemma Hansen. Here is that last questionable out of bounds that left the stunned look on the face of the Bengals.
You can see the stunned looks more than you could the out of bounds, but
here's Schmidt across the left, and that one dug out by Guzzi. Left side back to Gemma Hansen, and that one hits the baseline. And Blaine jumps back in front, 7-6.
Yeah, there hasn't been too many calls with which each team has disagreed tonight. I think it's been a pretty well refereed game.
I've disagreed with more calls than either team has. That serve goes to Halverson, tossed up to the middle, and a opportunity for Jonason. And now we're gonna have a violation against the Bengals. That's gonna be a double contact.
Back and forth. This is what we expected, you know, just trading points, and I think it's gonna be like that until the end.
Here's Jonas Scherber, and that is gonna be deep into the corner, but run down by the Bengals and passed over by Yang. He's gonna be bumped over right up top for Hansen and tipped back across to the Bengals. Second touch goes to Yang. Here's Brown beyond the 10-foot line, and that one sails wide.
Some terrific digs on that play, Steve. And what an effort by the Bengals to keep it alive near their scoreboard.
That one just missing the line. Good call by the line judge. Here's Hansen, and that one off the side of her hand into the net. So Rogers goes up by 2.
And all of a sudden, Rogers has won 4 of the last 5 points.
Serve coming from Joanna Scherber. This one clips the tape, but Guzzi was there. And Aber will slip it across. Now right side for Schmidt, and that one is down off the knuckles of Clara Brown.
And you just see here, Schmidt again, she'll either go down line or cross corner.
Beyond the 10-foot line, they'll set for Hansen, and this one hits the tape. I think it would have been 4 hits against the Bengals anyway had they played it.
Might be a good use of a timeout here, and that's exactly what Blaine does.
Yeah, Natalie Tynes going to take her first timeout here of set 4. Her team down 4, down 2-1 in the match, and trying to figure out what is going to be the recipe to get them back in this. I mean, only down 4, still a long way to go, but.
Right, and I think you look at each team with 2 timeouts left now, but we've said it before, and now we'll say it here in the 4th set, but danger time for the Bengals, right? You've allowed 5 straight points to take what was a 7-6 lead, and now it's 11-7. You do not want to get yourself any more down to this Rogers team, as both coaches imparting wisdom to their Blaine team.
So it is 11-7. Rogers the lead out of the timeout from Blaine. Serve coming from Joanna Scherber, and that is out. So a well-placed timeout there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Blaine needed. Another error from serve to give the ball back to the Bengals and allow them to respond in kind.
So Yang will serve. And that serve goes towards the corner where Bruskowitz was waiting, and then, oh my goodness, there is Anya Schmidt flying to bury that one off the defense, and it's 12-8.
She just comes from everywhere as you see her swooping in, and there is absolutely nothing that the defender could do about it.
That serve goes towards Yang. They'll set it up left side. This one gonna drop in. Sydney Carlson finds the ground right in front of Dawson.
As that Minichow Yang, yeah, nothing she could do about it. The Yang sisters trying to keep things alive as Blaine responding with a few points.
Serve from Hansen. This gets set up middle, a little off-timed, but it doesn't matter. It drops in anyway. That'll be Ellingson. The lead now for Rogers is 4. Halverson to serve for Rogers. Good pass. Aber sets the right side. That's going to be tipped back to Blaine, and up off her feet. Aber will send this one over the net. It's tapped back at her by Schmidt. And the lead is 5 now for Rogers.
Anytime they need a point, anytime they need a momentum change, they can go to their superstar, Anya Schmidt. It's kind of scary to think that she's just a sophomore.
Serve goes from Halverson, and this one right back down to the Royals, and the pass goes up under the net. So that was one the Bengals needed, now down 4. At 14-10 here in set 4.
Bengals could do with tying this right now or getting to within 1 and staying there.
They'll set for Schmidt. This one off the block, and there to get it is Aber. Yang with the second touch, and Brown rips it across. Schmidt from the right pin. She'll tip it over. It's played up by Carlson. Now here's Brown. Bangs it off the block, and a point for Blaine.
Yeah, Blaine showing impressive resiliency, just rallying, keeping those serves alive, and that one off of Rogers and out of play.
Serve goes to Halverson. Right side for Schmidt, played up off the block. And Aber will set to Brown. Brown down the line and misfires that one wide. And now Anya Schmidt rotates the service line. Her team up by 4. Schmidt, another ace, as that one is glanced off the forearms of Yang. And
there's 2 Yangs out there, but that was Chaya. And what is she supposed to do, Steve?
Yeah. I don't know.
That is so much heat on it. It's unbelievable.
Here's Anya Schmidt again, and this one goes into the tape, and that's what you hope for when Anya Schmidt's at the service line.
No question. Because otherwise, I mean, when she wants to, seemingly wants to rack up an ace, I don't know how you stop it.
Serve goes to Halverson. Schmidt will set to right. This one tapped back at Rogers, and then again at the net. Breitbart trying to knock it over. Right side, Brown, a little bit off target and tapped back at her by Dawson, and a point for Rogers.
You know, Steve, Blaine is just coming up on the short end of the stick on a couple of these back and forth, these rallies. They are so close to breaking through and keeping this and having a tie game, but they, or a tie set. But they just cannot seem to get on the right end of these.
And Gemma Hansen shoots that one long. And the lead grows now to 6. Can't let it get much more than this.
Not at this stage of the match, particularly.
Here's Ellingson. And that one twists towards the line, and another ace for Rogers.
Well, 2 timeouts left, and I don't know, Natalie Tynes might consider using one here if Rogers scores a point.
Ellingson with back-to-back aces. She's got 5 now. And the lead is up to 8. And Natalie Tynes is going to use her final timeout. So an 8-point lead for Rogers here in set 4, and the 9th-ranked team in the state flexing their muscles a little bit here, Bill.
Yeah, and if you ask me after tonight, I say they should be 8th. I don't know why they dropped.
Yeah, who knows how that all works, but they flip-flopped spots with Egan, who's 9 and 8. And they have jumped
Who admittedly
Rogers.
plays a very
absolutely.
tough schedule. Egan does. Great volleyball program that the Wildcats have, but yeah, Rogers looking to pick up its 24th win. And Bo Schmidt, you got to give him credit. How about this program? I mean, you know, coming out of Section 8, making it to the semifinals last year, and you look at their losses this year to like Champlain Park, and you have the schedule in front of you, but yeah, they're the good teams. Wayzata, Champlain Park, I believe were 2 of them.
Yeah, Wayzata, Maple Grove. Yeah, they have
4 total on the season.
Yeah, not many.
And I believe they lost maybe by a set in the Marshall tournament.
And that'll be tipped across, and that one's going to drop. So a point for Blaine to make it 20-13. Blaine trying to get a little closer here. That one tipped over and just never able to get that second touch. And Chaya Yang will serve. Schmidt's going to toss it up to Dawson left side, and Yang has that one off her shoulder, but saved by Aber. And now set up middle, and that one is deflected off the block, and a point for Rogers, and that's going to be another one for Scherber.
And Steve, they just seem to be getting stronger as the match goes along, right? They've seemed to just be really, this is the best set they've played. And yeah, so Blaine maybe running out of gas here late.
So here is Bruskowitz. Her team up by 8, closing in on a 4-set victory tonight against Blaine. Right side, and that is going to be Scherber into the back line to make it 22-13. And Bruskowitz will serve. That one is on the line, and another ace.
That's indefensible, Steve. You cannot defend that. If you get placement like that, Rogers really starting to get a grip on this match.
Yeah, 2 points away now in set 4. Here's Hansen, dug out by Halverson. Schmidt will toss it up to Dawson. It's tipped across and then saved by Aber, but the second touch falls to the ground, and it's match point for Blaine, for Rogers, and they'll have 11 of them, should they need them.
Schmidt has just been everywhere tonight, all over the court.
Here's Bruskowitz. Aber will set the right for Brown. This one deflected off the tape, picked up by Schmidt. Halverson, the second touch. Opportunity for Scherber, blocked back at her. And now Schmidt is going to go left side for Dawson and deflects that one off the block. And it is a 4-set victory tonight for Rogers. They take the finale 25-13.
Rogers looking all the part of a top 10 team, and you know, Blaine battled hard. Credit to them for picking up a set against the Royals, but not meant to be tonight as they fall 3-1.
Yeah, that ending of the third set obviously was the backbreaker for Blaine as Rogers scored the final 6 in the third. They win tonight in 4 sets. For Bill Hupp and everybody in the truck, Steve Linsmeyer saying so long from Blaine High School. It is Rogers, the 9th-ranked Royals, winning tonight in 4 here on North Metro TV.